You're listening to Good Morning Gwinnett, hosted by Audrey Bell-Kearney, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Monday and Wednesday, Audrey talks business, and on Tuesday and Thursday, she talks about AI. Grab a pen and some paper so you can take notes. Now on with the show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land, all of my friends around the world. It's a rainy day here in Georgia, but it's still nice. It's about 50 degrees going up to a high of 58, which is still very, very nice. All you need is like a light jacket or light sweater. So it's very, very nice. It's Monday. I know somebody woke up this morning going, oh my God, it's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday. It's Talk Business Monday. So if you woke up this morning, you said, oh my God, I don't feel like getting up. Oh my God, I hate this job. You need to be listening to this episode because talking about business is Monday. Mondays and Wednesdays, I talk business. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I talk tech. And so today I'm talking about collaborations. I've been blessed to be part of so many collaborations over the years. And what I wanted to do today was talk about some of the things that you need to think about if you're thinking about starting a collaboration with somebody. Now, let me say this. A lot of times as solopreneurs, we want to do it all ourselves, or we don't want to do it all ourselves, and we get into collaborations or joint ventures or partnerships, and everybody don't know their role. You got to know your role, right? You got to know where you stand, what you're supposed to do, and you got to be very clear about that. But the other thing is you got to put it in writing. I've had the opportunity to be a part of so many joint ventures and collaborations over the last 27 years that I've been an entrepreneur, and some of them worked out good, some of them not so good, some of them, things happen that I would just never have thought would have happened, but nonetheless, those were learning experiences, and they were learning experiences for myself. They were learning experience for other people that were involved. So it was a learning experience. So when you know better, you do better. That, well, at least you should. Let me say that because not everybody do better when they know better. Some people keep doing the same stuff over and over again and expect a different result. You know what that's called? Insanity. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some best practices for managing your business collaborations, and 4 best practices to be exact. So think about this for a second. When you start out as an entrepreneur, even if you're not an entrepreneur, but you've been in business for a while, I've been in business for a while, and I have just embarked on this really cool collaboration with one of my partners. We've done some stuff together, but this is probably one of my biggest things, where I'm creating an app for a part of his business that he does. So he's an insurance adjuster. He asked me to create something that would help support the people that he's serving in that industry, right? Which I thought was pretty cool. So when he came to me for it, and people come to me for the things that I do because they know that's what I do and I'm gonna get it done. When he came to me, at first I said I didn't want to be a partner, right? But I think I talked about this on the show last week. But when I thought about it, I was like, girl, you might want to be a part of that. So I just wanted to get paid and get out. But then I thought about it. I was like, nah, this is a really good one. Like first I was like, nah, I don't want to be, I don't want to have any stake, any skin in the game. And I thought about that thing. I was like, yeah, you want some skin in the game. So we had to put it in writing because although he's my friend, it's still a business at the end. You want to avoid any kind of issues moving forward when you do this thing. It's something at first it was a little intimidating to put the necessary paperwork in place with friends, right? But I've learned, let me tell you something. I have learned that you put it in writing so that way you are protecting yourself. That person, that partner or partners can protect themselves. Everybody knows their role. Like in our agreement, it says you have this much ownership and this is your role. You have this much ownership and this is your role. So we know our roles. My roles in this particular joint venture is the tech side. I am the CTO. I handle all of the tech for the company. He does everything else, right? Because that's my strong suit. I'm not an insurance adjuster. I'm not in that space. I don't understand that space. I'm a licensed life insurance agent when I'm, in my other life, but I'm not an insurance adjuster, so I don't understand that space. So I can't do anything in that space. I don't know how to market to the people in that space because I'm not in that space. He lives in that space every single day. And so for me, I'm gonna stay on my side, which is the tech side, and I'm gonna do my thing over there. It was interesting. I might be a part of another venture. I'm not sure. I'm not leading that either. I'm just a person that could be a part of. I may not be a part of. I don't know, but I can tell you that the person that's leading this venture is not the actual person that. And this is a land venture. This is a real estate venture. The person that's leading the venture is an attorney, and they know their role, and their role is significantly more than anybody else is in the role. So they're leading that venture. So I'm just following lead on that. I'm just following suit on that one. Tell me where I fit in, and if I can fit in it, and that has to make sense for me. I'm not gonna ever fit into something, make myself fit into something that I just can't do. So it has to make sense, even though I could possibly be losing money because I'm trying to put myself in a place where I really don't fit, right? Because I want to get money. Then it's going to be detrimental to the team because in reality, probably have lied about the things that I really can do or really want to do. And then when it's time for me to do those things, the expectation is, Audrey, you're going to get it done. And I'm going to fall because it's not my strong suit. It's not something I'm passionate about. So I'm not going to fit myself into any situation that's going to make the collaboration fall apart and test my integrity and put my integrity on the line. So I just won't do it. So the person that's leading that joint venture, they're not the key person, but they're the person that's leading it because they are an attorney and they have more knowledge in that space than the two of us. And it's not my thing. I was asked to be brought in on it, and it was kind of cool because I've never done it, so it's kind of exciting. And we have she put out about 4 or 5 different scenarios. So now we're waiting. We're waiting for the owner of the project to come back and say, okay, this is what I want to do. So anyway, I said all that to share that, I have a tech venture on one side, very clear lines. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is who he is. This is what he does. And this is what I'm going to create for that collaboration. On this side, not even sure if I'm really a partner yet, but maybe. And if I am, what is the expectation? So the first step into making sure that you manage collaborations effectively is to set clear expectations. Everybody need to know their role. Everybody. And they need to understand it and they need to sign off on that because that is one of the biggest problems I've seen when it comes to collaborations and joint ventures and partnerships. Somebody's saying, well, I thought you was going to do that. I thought you was going to do that. Well, who's going to be responsible? No. And it's bad because I've been in situations where I've thought that people knew what they say they knew and I hand it over to them and they fall apart. It's the crazy. And I'm like, wait now. So this is a title that you wear and you can't do this particular job. It looks bad. It looks bad and it makes people lose confidence in your abilities to perform. So when you drop the ball, they be like, yeah, I don't want to work with that person. I'm telling you, I know this for a fact because I've seen it happen. And it's happened to me in situations. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I thought that's who you said you were. Right. And I'm looking like, cause I'm like, hey, I'm the president of this. I'm like 5 presidents, y'all. Like for real. So my plate is loaded. Not 5. I'm exaggerating. I'm like 3. I'm 3 presidents, right? My plate is extremely loaded. So when I need to hand off something and you said this is who you are and this is what you do, and I hand it off to you and you drop the ball and I got to keep going back and say, hey. Now I have no confidence in you because that's what if I can tell you right now, when my partner, the tech partner handed this off to me, he best believe and he knows that he handed it to me. I'm gonna whoop that baby up and we're gonna be rolling. But he knows that because he knows me. And he knows that I'm not gonna say yes to anything that I really can't do. Right. Now, if it's something real simple for me to learn that I'm like, oh yeah, I'll learn that. I can figure that out. That's kind of cool. I like that, right? I may say yes to that. But 9 times out of 10, I don't say yes to stuff that I can't do or stuff that I don't want to do because there's a lot of things I just don't want to do. And I know it's going to stress me out. Like someone came to me recently and I was contemplating this because the money looked good about and I'm still kind of contemplating because I can kind of do it with my eyes closed. And people say, Audrey, why wouldn't you do it? Because it's aggravating. And that's why. Because even though I do it all the time and I could probably do it with my eyes closed, the people that are gonna come with me don't know what they want most of the time. So that's going to aggravate me because I'm going to do things and then they're going to change it because they didn't know what they wanted from the beginning. Now, I probably could put a whole lot of parameters in place and questionnaires, and I probably could, but they came to me because they want to write a series of books and they don't have the time. Of course, I do that with my eyes closed, right? Been doing this since 98. And I'm like, oh, that'd be a good part to add on to my business, add a book publishing division to Noise and do these books for people because I can do it with my eyes closed. And I'm just exaggerating that part, but I can do it pretty simply and pretty quick, right? Especially with the great tools we have out right now. And I'm always talking about AI, which I'll be talking about tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, I should do that. But then I was like, I don't know if I want to be bothered with that. because I've done stuff. I do websites for people and they don't know what they want. Then I do all this work and they were like, oh yeah, I can you do this? Oh God. And I had one client, it was, oh God, I was like, never doing websites again. Right. I'm finishing up one last project for somebody. And once I finish that, I probably would never do websites again because that is a headache. So it's aggravating. Right. But I signed off on it because I've been doing it for a long time. I know how to do it. The book thing, I'm like, oh, I could. Now, what I probably will do is do books for just me because I know what I want, and I know like I don't know if I'm gonna do it for other people, but I could say yes to that. But I'm probably gonna say no to that, right? Because the expectation is I'm gonna come to you with this idea, and you're gonna create this book, and then I got to go back and forth with you because you want to change this and move this. That's aggravating to me. So that's probably gonna be a hard no, but I probably will publish my own books. Now, what I probably could do is like, I'm gonna publish these books, I'm gonna put your name on it. You can't come back to me and say nothing. You're gonna pay for a book, you can't change you can't change nothing. It is what it is. Take the book, put it on your name, go on about your business. I could do something like that because there's no aggravation. It's like, Audrey, I need a book, I want this. I'll do that all day long. Cause I don't come back to me saying nothing except for send me your bio, send me your picture. I'm gonna slap it on the book that I create as a ghost AI writer. That's what I'll be, a ghost AI writer. Take the book and market it. Be on your way. Pay me my money and you go ahead and do your thing. I will do that. But I don't want to do it when people got this idea and then they want to go back and forth. I don't want to do that. That's too much trouble. So set clear expectations, understand what the objectives are, understand what the deliverables are, and understand the timeline. All right. I have a client I'm working with right now, right? They asked me to put them on a payment plan because they didn't have the cash. They were supposed to make the payment last month. No payment, no call. It's all right with me because if you don't pay, there's no work. But you had a timeline and your timeline was January 1. I'm not going to start any work until I get my money. So if your timeline is January 1 and you haven't paid me, well, no work will be started. That's just how it goes. So you're going to miss your timeline. Same thing with you. If you guys are on a timeline and you know that your time, now, sometimes it's hard to stick to timelines because things come up, and this is where communication becomes extremely important. Things come up, things change, life happens, a whole lot of things happen in the interim. And the timeline may shift. But this is where you have to say, okay, we need to jump on a call, we need to do a Zoom, we need to do something because we're not going to meet this deadline. And here's what we need to do to make sure that either we extend the deadline or we move it all together, whatever that case may be, or we take off something so we can meet the deadline. You have to understand these things from the door, right? Again, everybody involved needs to understand what the objectives are, what the deliverables are, and what the timelines are. So I woke up this morning and I was putting together my what's going to happen in 2025 with the Gwinnett Women's Chamber, which is where I'm president number one or number two, at under that organization. So I'm looking at what can we do, what can I get people to, the people that who say who they are can actually say yes I can do it and actually carry it out, and then we're gonna put some timelines in place. Okay, so this has to be done, and let me say something. I'm so busy a lot of times till when I hand off something, I may drop the ball on the timeline because I'm thinking I'm handing it off to anybody in my organization, whether it be my business, whether it be the other nonprofit, the chamber, whatever. When I hand it off, I'm handing it off thinking, okay, you got it. That doesn't always happen. It doesn't. It doesn't always happen. And then I drop the ball because I'm not following up because I'm thinking, well, everybody got it, and that's not good. So I have to be better at being a better leader so that I can make sure, or I need to hire an assistant to make sure that they stay on top of everybody, to make sure everything is done on time. See, all of these little pieces, these are important things for your nonprofit. I mean, for your collaboration. So if you know that your plate is extremely full and you are a one person show like myself, you may need to bring in somebody. And I've been saying this probably for the last 3 years. And I've tell my husband this all the time. I need to get an assistant. I really do need an assistant. I really do need an assistant because I have too many things going on, and because I have so much going on, and I try to pass things off. Sometimes it falls between the cracks because I'm not following up because I got 17 other things going on the left. You know what I'm saying? So timelines are important. Now, this may be the most important of all: communications. open and clear and transparent communications. You have to check in, you have to talk, you have to do that. That's important. Because if you don't do that, like I just said, you assuming that people are doing what they're supposed to do. They're assuming that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Nobody is doing nothing. And then when you come back around and you say, hey, nothing has happened. Because there has not been a consistent, clear channel of communication. And I tell you, I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball with the chamber on that one because I have a board. I get annoyed sometimes and I drop the ball. Then I'm like, oh, I just need a break because I'm tired. And then I have to go back and revamp, and I'm looking at like things that should have happened, conversations that probably should have had. And I'm just being transparent because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I've made, especially now. We're coming to the end of this year. This year has been a very interesting year, to say the least, a very interesting year. But here's the thing, I know better. So if I want to hit the levels of success that I want to hit in 2025, I have to tighten up my ship. So you're going to have to tighten up your ship. You're going to have to make sure you do regular check-ins with people, even when it's annoying. And let me say this, because this is another important thing. If there's somebody on your team that's just not working out, you're going to have to say, okay, I'm going to have to let you go. I know that's hard, right? It's okay if you need to step down. Give them permission, because sometimes people want to quit, but they don't want to disappoint you. I would prefer somebody just say, hey, I can't do this, and step down, because it's even more disappointing and makes you angry when they're there and they're not doing the work. So if you know that person is just not doing well and they're just there because they don't want to disappoint you, give them permission to step down. Listen, I'm telling you, because otherwise you're putting your confidence into someone who's just not interested in what you're doing. Or they're there for a title, or they're there because it looks good. I have a very important initiative that I'm rolling out for the chamber in 2025. Very important. And my goal is to put it into capable hands. However, I'm going to put it in someone's hand, and if it falls through the crack in the first month and a half, I'm going to give them permission to step down. It's okay if you need to step down, because that initiative is so important to me that I cannot have it fall through the cracks. And if you say you're capable of handling it, that's what I'm expecting. So clear communications, regular check-ins, be transparent about the channels. If it's Zoom, then send a Zoom link. If it's Slack, then make sure you got this. Everybody's on Slack. If you're using Asana, everybody needs to know how to use Asana. All of these things. I'm a Zoom person. I'm a conference person. Let's up on a call. I'm that person. But it needs to be able to run smoothly, because if you know some of your people on your team are not technical, and you send them to Asana to do things in Asana and they're already not technical, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. If they have trouble just checking basic emails and you're trying to send them over to Asana, oh, baby, you're about to lose them. They won't be on any meetings. They're not going to update the little Asana boards. You send them over to Trello. They're not going to update the Trello boards because they don't know how to use Trello. They don't want to tell you they don't know how to use Trello because they don't want to look like they don't know anything. All of this kind of crazy stuff that will stop you from having a good collaboration. All of this. All right, that was 2 things. I got 2 more. I'm going to go to a song, and then I'm going to come back and give you my next 2. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
I was hiding in the shadows. Oh yeah. Lost in all my fears. Oh yeah. Couldn't see the light. Drowning in my tears.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your girl Audrey Bell-Kearney. You're listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett show, and today is Talk Business Monday. And I'm talking about what you need to be thinking about if you're thinking about doing a collaboration. You don't want to try to do it all by yourself. Let me say that. That's not something you want to do because it's a lot of work. And when you do things by yourself, things are bound to drop through the cracks, right? Fall through the cracks. Now they will fall through the cracks too, even when you even when you have people on your team. But the chance of you getting more done when you have help is greater. Is a greater towards your success if you have some help. I talked about communication. I want to go back there for just a second before I move on to my next couple of topics. Um, Here's the other thing I want to talk about communications. Now, I'm a leader. The people that I'm involved with, they're leaders. But sometimes you have to know when to stop leading and just listen, right? Sometimes you have to kind of step back and let the person that's leading that project lead. And here's the thing, put your ego to the side because it's not an ego thing. If that person is proficient in that space and they can lead better than you, step back and you follow. Because here's what's going to happen. Now you learn. I can tell you right now, I was talking to my husband over dinner last night and my friends. We went to dinner and we were talking about the new administration that's coming into the White House. I can already tell you what one of the major problems going to be. Not to the little flunkies, because it's a bunch of flunkies in the administration, but the power players, the alpha dogs. That's going to be a problem because they're alpha dogs, and they don't want to listen. Everybody wants to be in charge. We got one president, but we got like four co-presidents, right? That all want to be president, right? That's going to be a problem. So I'm expecting the fallout to happen right around February 20th, which is my birthday. They take off as January 20th. February 20th, I expect some of the alpha dogs to be them fell out because everybody is a leader and they want to lead and they don't like to listen, especially alpha dogs. Like they want to take the lead on everything. Now, all the little flunkies that's bouncing around, they flunkies. They'll do whatever you say do. They're flunkies, right? But the alpha leaders, that's not how they work. So that's going to be a lot of fallout. That could happen into your organization, into your project, whatever you're working on. Sometimes you just have to know I'm a leader, but this person is better at leading this project than me. So I'm just gonna step back and play my role. Whatever that role may be, whatever you have determined that your role is going to be as a part of that project, be okay with that and just listen. Sometimes you just need to shut up and listen, right? Let the person have the floor. You just sit up there and listen and be a part of the project and make it successful. That's what I'm saying. That's a part of communications. Now, I'm not saying that what you have to say is not valid or that it's not going to bring value to the project, but sometimes it's not your role to take the lead. It's not your role to lead the conversation. And because you're a leader, that's kind of hard for you. I sit back, listen, I'm possibly working on something right now. I have just been just sitting back, arms folded, just listening because I'm not leading this project. I'm one of the people on the team. Tell me what y'all need me to do. That's me. That's it. I have no say so in nothing except for what you ask me to do. None. Because the person that's leading, this is their space. I'm just sitting back. Hey, what you need me to do? It's not my project, right? I'm not the leader. I have information that I feel is relevant. And when they ask me, hey, this is what I believe. This is what I think. If they're not asking me, I'm listening. I'm not running my mouth. I am sitting there quiet as a church mouse listening because it's not my project. I'm not the lead on this one. I'm just a team player on this one. And so when my input is needed, I share it. When it's not needed, I listen. All right. So listening is one of the major parts of communication. Yes, you have to have clear channels and all that good stuff, but you also need to be a good listener, right? You also need to know your role, be a good listener, sit back, shut your mouth until it's time for you to answer the question, right? And I'm not saying what you have to bring or contribute is not valuable. It's just that know when you're supposed to do that, and that's okay. All right. Now we need to define clear KPIs and metrics, right? Measuring the success is essential. You want to understand like what the revenue growth model is, market penetration, customer feedback, all these things are important. I told y'all before on the show, the show used to be really long. It used to be an hour long. And when I first came on in the morning, I played the intro. Then I would do like the daily holiday for the day. I talk about birthdays. Then I would do the horoscope. Then I would go to a commercial. Then I come back and do the second part of the horoscope. And then I would come in and I would do state news. Then I would do no, I would do state news. Then I would do local news. Then I would do county news. So this was a show. I thought it was a great format. Right, that was the format that I like, and it probably was a great format, right? But maybe not a great format for a podcast. It was a great radio format, which this is not radio, this is podcasting. So I liked the format because I liked how it went because it sounded like a really good radio format, right? And because I listen to radio sometimes, and that's the format. You hear all this stuff, you hear a lot of music. You don't hear a lot of talk like this, right? So this girl reached out to me on YouTube and she said it took 6 minutes and 32 seconds for you to get to the point. She said, I'm not trying to be funny, which means she was trying to be funny. But it took you 6 minutes and 32 seconds to get to the point, right? But to point to her, she could have fast forward. Let me just say that. She could have fast forward to the point where she wanted to talk. She wanted to hear what she needed to hear, but she wanted to hear it up front. Now, originally I was annoyed. Like, she don't tell me how to run my show. This is my show, right? But then I was like, oh, you know what? She's listening. So I need to give her what she's asking for. That's why customer feedback is so important because you can make the necessary adjustment that would affect your metrics and your KPIs if you understand it. Also, knowing what the market penetration is, right? My the tech project that I'm working on right now isn't one on the market. I don't think. He's done the research and he's like, I don't see it, and I'm like, really? So, we are expecting acquisition of that company because it's such a good product. So I gotta give it my all. I gotta put both hand and 10 toes down into it to give it my all and make it a really highly functional product. And it's a SaaS product. So but he did some market research and it's not a lot of penetration. You need to know who the players are in your space. What is the market penetration? What are they doing in that space? What kind of revenue can you expect? We're creating a SaaS product. SaaS make money. Like, so for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a software as a service. SaaS make money. And we're tapping into an industry that probably don't have a lot of this type of SaaS in it, which means the market penetration is not oversaturated. Understand that so you can understand how to find, because here's the thing, even if it's oversaturated, I guarantee there's a gap somewhere that your company or your project can fill. And when your company and project can fill that gap, that's what you lead with, right? So let's say, for instance, you were book marketing. Book marketing is a prime example. And I'm making this up, but this could be really true. Here's the thing. If you know that you are in the business of helping people, and I say that because, somebody asked me to do the whole ghostwriting book thing. If you know that you're in the industry of writing books, right? You're publishing books and you want to have a publishing company that publishes books, you could say, look, all we publish is audio books. That's all we do. Send me your book. I'm going to turn it to audio. It's going to go into our audio library. We're going to set you up with an account. So now you can just sell audio books because you don't even have to do it. Or you take this tool and you embed the audio book on your website, and every time somebody click it, you make money, right? You can just focus on that. I don't want to do anything. I'm just doing audio books. It's kind of like Audible, right? But I'm doing audio books for crafters. I just made that up. But just think about that for a second. You know how many crafters there are? One of my friends is in a group right now of 10,000 crafters. There's just one group. She's in a bunch of them. She's in one group, just one, that has 10,000 crafters in it. The person that owns that group makes $300,000 a month. She has 2,000 people in her group. She says she charges $30 a month. She makes some astronomical amount of money a month, right? It's over $3 million a year from crafters. I was like, I need to follow her blueprint. But I said all that to say, if you want to create just audio books just for crafters, like crafters who want to tell a story, you turn that into an audio book, you set up a platform, and you put it out there. Sure, there's not a whole lot of market penetration for that. I might even do that. If you beat me to the punch, I need credit for that. I need a piece. I need 5% because I just gave that to you if you beat me to it. But you need to understand the market trend and penetration, right? Now this is the biggie. Ooh, child. This is a biggie. Address conflicts proactively, not reactively. Let me say that. Address conflict proactively, not reactively. All right. Disagreements are inevitable. They're going to happen. But you got to have some kind of conflict resolution process already in place to address them very quickly and very fairly. I was on a call with some other people that have ask me. I get approached a lot about joint ventures. Most of them, I say no to because I'm like, I don't want to do that. I get all the time, but this one I want to do. And they one of the people was like, well, we probably won't have any, disagreements. And I'm saying to myself, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I already know. Now I already know that group there will be some disagreements. So right out the gate, which was hilarious, I saw one arising. It didn't happen, but it could happen, and I was like, there it is, right there. Shut my mouth, and I sit back, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, so how do we do conflict resolution for this before it happens? How do we be proactive versus reactive, right? And I stepped in, and I was very proactive to make sure it didn't happen. Now, will it happen in something else? Probably so. But you have to be able to respect everybody's opinion. You don't have to agree, but you have to respect. Respect everybody's position at the table because nobody, if you're in a collaboration, even though I'm not the lead on the two projects that I just talked about, I'm a partner in one. I may be a partner in the other one. I may not. They may say we don't want you in this, and I'm say okay, cool. It's not like I ain't got a lot of stuff going on anyway. But if I am a partner, I know my role, and I know that conflict will arise, and I know that the one thing we have to all remember is to respect each other, right? And we may not necessarily agree. We may have to agree to disagree. That may be some of the things we have to do, but we have to do those things. Because if we want this project to be successful and move forward, we may have to say, you know what, let me just bite my tongue on this one because I need this to go ahead and finish. This might be what you have to do. Or I don't agree with the way they're doing that, but I'm going to roll with it anyway. You just may have to do that. There's a good movie out called The Rise and Fall. I think it's The Rise and Fall of WeWork. You got to go watch that movie. Nobody can tell him anything. He was smart, but he just over leveraged everything. And he didn't listen, and he lost it all. They bought all of the Meetup. I think Meetup, either they bought Meetup.com. I think they bought Meetup.com. Now Meetup.com is charging people $44. Like it used to be $20, 24. It was $19.99. Then they went to $24.99. And like the last 3 or 4 months, I think from July, they just jumped up to $44.95. I'm like, wait a minute, did they just do a $20 jump? So most of the people are leaving Meetup because it doesn't make sense for a lot of folks. Like, well, why am I paying $44? All I want you to do is post an event. I'm not charging. So anyway, I think it's called The Rise and Fall of WeWork. Check that out. But I thought that was an interesting story. Partners, people just being ignored, right? Not being proactive, being reactive, not being preventative. Now you want to put a band-aid on a cut. You know what I mean? So you want to address these things very quickly. Now, quickly, some examples of business collaborations that actually work. Nike and Apple, two separate companies, right? But here's the thing. The two giants partnered to create a Nike Plus app, integrating Apple technology with Nike products to enhance customer experience. Now, see how that worked? They saw dollar signs. Nike is an athletic performance company, and Apple's a technology company. We're gonna get together and we're gonna marry this product with this product, and we're gonna make it work. It worked out very well. Starbucks and Barnes and Noble. Who don't know about this collaboration? I love Barnes and Noble. I don't necessarily care for Starbucks, but I like Barnes and Noble. But they do have like this little food section there. They said, you know what? People like going hanging out at bookstores. How about we place a Starbucks inside of Barnes and Noble? And I honestly believe that's what keeps Barnes and Noble open. It was that if you go to any Barnes and Nobles, you probably see a Starbucks. I thought that was a tremendous. Whoever said let's do that was a great idea. And then last was Spotify and Uber. Let me tell you something. You're sitting in the Uber, and you can play your music. You can control your own music through the Spotify, creating a personalized experience for the rider. So the collaboration allowed Uber riders to control their music during rides through Spotify. How about that? So you sit in the Uber. Now, what's crazy about that is if the driver don't like your music, if the driver does not like your music, it's like, oh, I hate this music they're playing. But if you're an Uber rider, you're an Uber driver, hey, that's what Uber said. We want our riders to have a personalized experience. We want them to listen to their playlist while they riding your car. Right? So There you have it. So those are my four things. Those are my four things to um help you have a good business collaboration with great partners. And I'm gonna do a recap. So some of the common pitfalls we talked about: lack of clear goals. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna lose focus. If you got people on your team that's there for a title, they're gonna fail. If you got people on your team who there because they think you're gonna make a lot of money, it's gonna fail. If you got people on your team who don't understand technology and how to move around and navigate, it's gonna fail. If you have not done an assessment of everybody on the team and what their strengths and weaknesses are, you're gonna fail. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Poor communications. Oh my God. It's gonna deload projects. You're gonna have misunderstandings. It's gonna be all kinds of stuff if the communications is poor. So you should talk to each other regularly. I dropped the ball with the chamber, so I taken full responsibility of that. But moving forward in 2025, I wouldn't. Now I can't say we had detrimental things happen in the chamber because we didn't. Georgette has been tremendously great about making sure our events are there, and there. And I've been good about the newsletter, but internally with the team, I kind of dropped the ball in the last 3 months. I did because I was a little bit annoyed. I'm not gonna even front. I was a little bit annoyed, so I dropped the ball. But she's been good about making sure all of our events are out there. I've been good about putting the newsletter out internally with the team. I've been not good in the last 3 months, and that's my fault. Poor communication is good. Unequal contributions. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, if one person feel like they're doing the bulk of the work, there is going to be a problem. Let me say that again. If one person feels like they're doing all the work and you just got this little bit and you ain't even doing that little bit good, that's going to be you're going to have resentment start to build up. I'm trying to tell you like I'm telling you. That's why it's so important for people to know their role. This is your role and this is the expectation. Now, I could tell you if you are the leader, even if the person know their role, you have to still stay on top of that person, especially when you know they're not. Because if you have people in roles that aren't leaders, they would not lead the role that they're in. Let me say that part again. If you have people in roles and they just don't have the leadership qualities and abilities, they're not going to lead the role, even though they're in charge of the role. They're just not going to do it. So, as the leader of the organization or the group or the project or whatever it is, you're going to have to make sure that you stay on top of that person. And that's annoying. I get it because you feel like you got leaders, but you can tell who the leaders are because the leaders lead. If you got to tell them every little thing, they're not leaders. They're just a person that's going to do the job that you tell them to do. That's what they are. And that's okay because not everybody's meant to be a leader. But you as a leader have to understand, don't expect them to lead if they're not leading. And then then you become overburdened and you feel resentful because you got so much going on and I thought you was going to do this. Well, don't put a person in a leader role who can't lead. You as the leader of the organization, you have to understand that. Because one of the things that will kill a organization quickly is one person feeling like they're being used, they're being overworked, they're looking at what you're doing, they feel like you're not doing anything, they're doing everything. That's going to cause resentment. And whether they say it or not, deep down inside, they are starting to resent you. Because they feel like they're doing everything, you're not. Let me tell you something. I had to go to an event a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago on a Sunday. And I was like, what time should I be there to the event organizer? I'm just one of the people that's there to assist and help, right? So I'm be here at 12 o'clock. Now the event's supposed to start at 1. At least that's what I was told. I think that's what was on the flyer, 1 o'clock. So I get there at 12. So I walk in the door and nothing is done. I walk in the door, I'm like, this event cannot be starting at 1 o'clock. No, the tables had no tablecloths. The chairs had no table covers. The food was sitting on the stage. Like the food that was there was sitting on the stage. The place where the area where the food was supposed to be at wasn't set up. It was like 6 people just looking at the one person trying to do the work. I'm like, so nobody's helping her do the work? Like I'm standing around. So I texted the organizer like, hey, I'm here. Where are you? Because you told me to be here at 12 o'clock. You should be here too. Nothing is set up. Nothing was set up. They weren't there. They got there at 1:55. The organizers. So I asked the young lady, do you need some help? She said, yeah, right? So I started to help her struggling with them chairs. I'm hot. I'm sweating. I'm supposed to be trying to be cute. I'm hot and sweating. I'm putting tablecloth tape because you got to take the chair up. You got to lift the chair up. You got to put the chair cover on it. Got to wrap it around the feet. All this manual work that I'm not used to doing. So I'm noticing that she's on the telephone. So I'm looking like I'm over here struggling with these chairs that you should have had covered already, and you walking around on the phone. So she walking and she talking on the phone. She go outside, she come back in, she tie a sash on one chair, and then she go back outside, she come back in, she tie two more sashes. I'm struggling with the chairs. So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna do one more table. And it had to be like 70 chairs, y'all. And none of them had chair covers. And so I'm watching her, and I'm like, when you gonna stop and put some chairs covers on these chairs, right? She never stopped to do it. So then this other lady came in, which I think the event organizer had called her and said, "Can you go help?" So she comes in with a little girl, and she tells the lady, "Such and such called me, and she said for me to come help." So she said, "Okay." Okay, so she said so the lady pointed, those chairs are there need chair covers. She didn't tell the lady how to put the chair covers on, which was my problem when I first started. It took me like 7 minutes to figure out how to get the chair cover. I'm like, why is it so hard for me to get this chair cover under the bottom of the chair? So she didn't know how to do it. So I'm looking at the lady struggle. So I said, let me help this woman because she's going to be struggling like I struggle. So I went over and said, no, turn it this way, do it this way, this way. Then another lady came. Her daughter was in the program. She's like, you need help? So again, I see her struggling with the chair. So I tell her hey, turn it this way because she was struggling too. So the three of us are putting the chair covers on the chairs. This woman walking around on the telephone, right? So the lady with the little girl, she probably looked at her and said, well, she ain't helping. So she did one table and she left. Then the other lady did one table and she disappeared. And I was like, I'm not doing another table while she walking around her talking on the phone. So I got my stuff and I went to my car and I sat there. And then the people that actually was running the event, it was like three people. One of them was a man. He wasn't trying to do nothing. He was just watching us struggle. It was like disgusting. I was like, he's not going to even offer to help. He didn't offer to help. It was like we were to help. It was disgusting. He watched us struggle with those chairs and he didn't offer to help. He sat down. I'm like, really? I went and sat in my car. And the two event organizers, the other two event, they rolled in was 150. I'm talking to my husband like it is 155. I was like, this is unbelievable. The event actually kicked off at 3 o'clock. I was there at 12 o'clock. It was crazy. But I said all that to say the resentment for that event for me built up really quick. And I wasn't gonna do another thing, nothing, which I did not. I came back in. I sat to the table where the organization that I was supporting had their table. I sat right there. And the young lady had the nerve to say to the other event manager coming and say, do you have any volunteers? And I'm looking like, don't look at me because I'm not about to do another thing. The resentment started to build up really quick because when people are working, they're looking at you just BSing around, that's going to cause resentment. They feel like this is unequal contributions and I'm not doing it. And guess what's going to happen? That job has to fall to somebody. And if it don't fall to somebody, it will fall down the cracks. So I hope this was helpful. I know that 2025 is quickly approaching us and you want to do some great things in 2025. You can't do them by yourself, but you want to make sure that you got a great team. You want to make sure that your team is a team that's going to carry out the duties. You want to make sure that everybody know their roles. Don't have people say yes and you know they can't do the job. You know what I'm saying? Don't have people say yes and you know they don't have the time to commit. That's important. I get it. You want to be a part of it. I understand. I love you so much. You want to be a part, but I already know. I'm looking at how you roll. You don't have time. This is a project that's going to be way too much and you just don't have time or you don't have the skills. Listen, I know my role in all my projects. Well, the other one, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in there. If they say, Audrey, we don't really need you, I'm cool with that. On the tech side over here, I'm the CTO. On this other side, this real estate thing, don't know where I fit. And not asking, unless they tell me where I fit, I don't fit. And I'm okay with that. Because they may want me to fit into something that I'm just not going to do. Like run around town and all over Georgia. I'm not doing that. So that's not going to be a good fit for me. So I'm going to say no because that's not going to be a good fit for me. Now, if they ask me to do anything where I can sit at this computer and do things, oh, absolutely. Especially if I know what I'm doing. Now, if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm probably going to say no. But if I know what I'm doing and I can sit to my computer or I can make some phone calls, I can get it done, and I have the time, I'll do it. So know your role, clearly communicate the goals and the objectives, do your share of the work. Don't just jump on the bandwagon because you don't be left out. Don't just jump on the bandwagon because you feel like there's gonna be some money made. You need it. Make sure that you commit to the project. Some people just want a title. All they care about is a title. How it's gonna make them look, and it's gonna make you look bad. I really want to say something else. Bad as you know what, if you drop the ball, because the people that got you involved, if you drop the ball, they be like, yeah, don't work with that person. That person suck. You know how many times I say that about people? Ooh, that person sucks. Because if someone asks me, I'm not just walking around saying it. Somebody say, what about? Nah. I wouldn't. Like, there's a person who's really good in their space when it comes to money, right? Really good. But the attitude is horrible. I'm talking about schizophrenic horrible. And if someone came to me and say, hey, what do you think about this person? Mm, you know, I mean, you need to try it for yourself. I mean, I wouldn't. That's what I personally would not, but that does not mean my experience is going to be your experience. I just would not. And they probably would be like, yeah, if Audrey wouldn't, I probably wouldn't either. Because the person is schizo, you know? But they're good at their job, but you got to get past the other stuff. And that's just not, I can't even refer to people like, nah, can't refer that person to nobody. All right, so listen, I got to go to my last song. Then I'm going to come back and give you my words of inspiration for today. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Wake up, it's a new sunrise. Colors bursting, open your eyes. Throw off the old, let's make some noise. Dance on the canvas, bring your voice. Life's a sketch, a fresh page gleaming. Draw your dreams, start believing. Blank slate, it's never too late to paint your fate. Let's celebrate, spin around. Feel the beat, step on the streets with dancing feet. Blank slate, the past can't wait, today's great. Come on, create. Mistakes are just the shadows past. Mornings like the die is cast. Step on the gas, let's speed on through. Sky's the limit, nothing we can't do. Rewrite the script, new role to play. Life's a stage, new acts to display. Nothing we can't do. Rewrite the script, new role to play. Life's a stage, new acts to display. Blank slate, it's never too late to paint your fate. Let's celebrate, spin around. Feel the beat, step on the streets with dancing feet. Blank slate, the past can't wait, today's great. Come on, create. Mistakes are just the shadow past. Mornings like the die is cast. Let's toss the map, find new roads. Sing out loud, unload. Each heartbeat a drum, let's make our tune. Under this bright, bold afternoon. Blank slate, it's never too late to paint your fate. Let's celebrate, spin around. Feel the beat, step on the streets with dancing feet. Blank slate, the past can't wait, today's great. Come on, create. Mistakes are just the shadow past. Mornings like the die is cast. Race to the laughs we're gonna find, to the love we leave behind. New stories when there rains on this beautiful blank slate. Let's jump in, don't hesitate. Life's waiting, don't make it wait.
All right. That's all I got for you today. But before I go, I want to give you my words of inspiration. I thought this was my word. I came up with this myself. And it was funny because I don't know what I was thinking about, but I was like, this is a good word. So here goes my word of inspiration for today. You cannot expect a harvest if you haven't planted any seeds. Ooh, let me say it again. Because somebody missed it. You cannot expect a harvest if you haven't planted any seeds. Let me tell y'all something. The seeds I planted over the last 27 years, I believe they're about to come to harvest. But guess what? Had I not planted those seeds, there would be no harvest. I'm looking forward to my harvest because I've planted some seeds. Sometimes I didn't even know I was planting seeds, which is crazy. And I know that I've planted seeds because when people come to me and ask me for things that I haven't even thought about, I did it just because. It wasn't like I was doing it for a reason. I just did something just because. And somebody swing back around and say, hey, I want to compensate you for that. I'm like, wait a minute. That was a seed that I planted that I didn't even know I planted. Now, 9 times out of 10, you planted some seeds somewhere. You probably wasn't even expecting a harvest. But this could be your harvest season, baby. But I can guarantee you one thing. If you have not planted one seed, there will be no harvest for you. So what I'm saying is, moving forward, plant at least one seed a week. Because the harvest will come even when you least expect it, even if you don't expect it at all. Plant some seeds. Just drop them, just sprinkle them on the ground. I sprinkle them all the time, and I never know what's going to happen. I have seeds that I've planted or that I've sprinkled or that I've dropped that are now coming to harvest, and I'm waiting for the harvest. I'm believing in harvest. I'm expecting the harvest. I'm grateful for the harvest. I'm thankful for the harvest. I am ready for it. All right, all right. That's all I got for you. Could have been anywhere in the world would spend the last 52 minutes with me, and I love and appreciate you for that. If you miss any episodes of the show, be sure to go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past episodes there, and also to check out local news, other business articles, and other articles on tech. I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's Talk Tech Tuesday to bring you more of what's going on around in AI and tech. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with a friend. You guys stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. I'll be back again. Until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett, hosted by Audrey Bell-Kearney. If you missed an episode, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com for past episodes and local news. Do us a favor and click the link in the description to support the show for just $5.99 a month and share it with a friend.